yeah. So I've been sleeping on the floor for the past 2 weeks or so. I have my bed here, making a couple of changes with my life, trying things out. Eventually I will get a futon mattress, a futon. How the fuck do you even say it? Eventually I'll get a futon mattress, but now I'm just sleeping on this like a thin cotton sheet. I don't even know why this is here because it's so thin. And this is basically just a very thin, I don't know how to call it, a mattress, like a foam thing. But yeah, I got used to it and my body feels strong. It doesn't hurt when I sleep on this thin mattress. Mostly I can sleep in every position right now, but yeah, you can start with tactical sleeping positions if you want to try it out, if you're a first timer. So yeah, I'll sleep on the floor in the future. I don't know why I've been sleeping on this fucking giant piece of polyester all my life. Just decided one day that I'll try sleeping on the floor. Should I film myself right here? So yeah, in the past I kind of tried sleeping on the floor, but it was like for 5 days or 3 days here and there. So it was all like split up or all fucked up. I never did it properly, but now it's been like consistent plus 2 weeks that I've slept on the floor. And yeah, it's been very good. I'd say less overall aching in my body. I just overall simply feel like I'm getting like less pains. I can hang on the floor. I can roll on the floor. I usually hang on the floor when I stretch and stuff like that. But yeah, this has been a next level game changer for me. Overall feeling strong in the body and very firm. Maybe my posture will even like correct itself sleeping on the floor, but actually it's very comfortable. I can imagine most people could overreact to this kind of style of sleeping, but it's actually very comfortable, especially when you can start with a thicker futon mattress. At least in Finland they sell it like 14 centimeters is maybe the thickest that I know, maybe even thicker. But yeah, myself, I think I'm going to get somewhere in between 6 and 9 centimeters. So, and also you can place the futon mattress on a wooded kind of bed frame. So that's also a variant. I prefer the floor because it keeps me cool in the night. Your body kind of balances with the heat. So yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. Yep, getting cold here in Finland again. Winter season is coming. Yep, there's actually an apple tree in my front yard. So usually I take these 10, 15, 20-minute walks nowadays in the morning. In the summer I take longer walks, but now since it's getting a little bit colder, I quickly want to kind of get some of the sunlight that's available here in the morning, and then yeah, do a little fresh hop outside. It's always good to get outside first thing in the morning, and then get back home as soon as possible. Ran out of battery, of course, but usually when I get home, I make some coffee and then read something. At the moment, I'm reading the New Testament, the Bible. It's been interesting. I'm too early in the journey to give my opinions and to solidify my beliefs. I've always been kind of I believe that something greater exists. I believe that there's a creator. It's hard to say, but it's been interesting to say the least. So I don't always have this, but when I do, I put it in my coffee. So this is ghee. This is clarified butter. Usually I put butter in my coffee or some kind of fat, maybe some cream, which I have over there. Put some ghee, put some cream, but not too much. It's very good when you add some taste to the coffee, but not too much. But this stuff, this is really awesome. If you haven't tried ghee, this is very good for cooking. It's good for high heating, basically awesome stuff, but expensive. It's rare when I have one of these, but when I do, it's awesome to use almost everywhere. Good amount of fat there. And make another shot too. So I'll basically have a quattro espresso with some fat and some cream. You gotta try it out if you haven't tried it. It's awesome. So now that I've made the coffee, a quattro shot of espressos, and the foam, made the foam also. So now this looks like this, double shot espresso, and then some of this creamer. But I don't make it out of milk. I use cream, full fat cream. So it's like a tiny bit that goes in there, and voila. There you have it. That's a coffee of champions, I guess. So yes, if you haven't tried a coffee with full fat cream and some butter or some ghee, then this is what you might want to try. Warms my heart. The New Testament, this is what I've been reading recently. I'm on Luke 18 right now. Usually they give out these for free. There's usually some kind of a tent set up in Helsinki where they just like spread the word and give out New Testaments for free. So this has been my morning routine pretty consistently right now. Not every day, but I try to read it as often as possible to make more sense of the world and afterlife and so on and so forth. Also, I have this one here, which is The Body Keeps the Score, which is about traumas. This is a pretty dark book, actually. This is about, like, I don't want to say the words, but children who were like abused as when they were small, and soldiers who went through wars, and how their brains and bodies keep the trauma in them, and how it is actually possible to cure those deep traumas. So very interesting book. Besselwan der Kalk, MD, The Body Keeps the Score. So yeah. So what I'm planning for today is do some writing, do some content planning. I've been kind of trying to figure out my content topics and niche in a more detailed way, and also trying to figure out what style of content I do want to create. Obviously, this channel will be for my quests and vlogs, blogs type of thing. I'm just kind of gonna film like freestyle stuff on this channel. So I'll also link my main channel on the description. So that will be more of my like business channel, self-improvement channel, and this channel will be strictly for like freestyle stuff and showing my everyday life and kind of that kind of thing. So recently I've been like cleaning up my environment. I have these phases a couple times per year where I kind of feel like I have to clean up my physical environment and my digital environment. So I've been doing that exactly. I've been, like I said earlier, I've been experimenting with sleeping on the floor. I'm trying to kind of minimize my lifestyle also at the same time, like get rid of stuff I don't need. And yeah, I feel like this kind of cleans me up mentally, spiritually, in every way possible. You have to kind of like monitor your life in a sense that you have to contemplate and question, what do you have in your life currently in terms of like physical stuff, all the stuff you have in your home, and also in terms of your physical stuff, friendships, spiritual environment, and stuff like that, you know. It's good to do cleanups a couple times per year. So yeah, this is where I'm at right now. This is basically what I've been doing for the past like 1.5 weeks. I've not been so active posting content. Yeah, I'm basically trying to figure out some new stuff for my business channel or self-improvement channel in this creative phase, trying to figure things out. So I feel like I want to keep doing these freestyle blogs because I still want to improve my speech. I want to improve my vocabulary and stuff like that. So these will be good for that also. I actually did a 30-day challenge on my main channel, which was purely for the sake of me practicing my speaking skills. But still, I feel like sometimes I fall off and I need to practice my speaking skills even more. Obviously, it's not always possible because my communication with English speaking people is limited at this moment. So I kind of have to do it like one way most of the time. So I have to practice in front of the mirror, maybe read some kind of a blog, but also it's one thing to read some kind of text and it's a whole nother thing to kind of communicate with people like freestyle. Yeah, it's basically a whole different thing to improvise and like speak from your heart and from your mind. So yeah, these vlogs will be good for that also. But cheers, we'll continue with this vlog. So the principle here is just to go over my body holistically from top to bottom. I split these micro workouts into 3 days. So I'm trying to do like different exercises each day, but I'm going over like not very like isolated exercises, but like just holistically, like shoulders, core, the legs, and then the neck. As I train my shoulders, I obviously like train a little bit of my arms too, but nothing that like specific and detailed, just overall like big exercises, small weight and lots of volume. This is just a light exercise I do before I eat my meals. And then after my light workout, I do a light stretching session. I go again from top to bottom, from my neck, arms, Core I leave toward the evening. I do that in another stretching session, but I stretch my hands, legs, neck, and stuff like that. So then after stretching, it's meal time usually. So that's what I do. So yeah, this session is obviously meant to be very light. And then toward the evening, I do a heavier workout and a longer stretching session also. And then have my second meal toward the end of the day. But yeah, let's carry on. So I have my eggs already cooking here. I'm also gonna have some ground mince. This is actually not 100% beef. This is beef and pork mix. So 60% pork and 40% beef. So not ideal, but beef is more expensive right now, but I do eat beef also whenever I can, and I do preferably I eat it raw whenever I can if it's a quality beef. So yeah, gonna have a large meal right now. I basically eat like 2 times per day, so this will be a large meal number 1, and then I'll have the second one in the evening. And yeah, I'm having these large meals especially in the days where I train more. So if I'm doing for example, an evening workout that's heavier, then I'm going to have like two larger meals per day. Now I'm experimenting on my days off, kind of when I don't do a heavy workout, I'm experimenting with kind of having a lighter meal afternoon, and then in the evening I have a heavier meal. So it's 2 meals per day for me. It's all right because they're quite big and I have no carbs specifically. Maybe sometimes I do have some fruits, some milk maybe here and there, raw milk, and yeah, mostly meat, eggs, some fat. So that's basically my diet if we could say so. It's my lifestyle. So yeah, that's that. Mealtime number 1. Let's go. My pork beef mixture is cooking. Yeah, ideally I would have done like I always improvise with my food, so I don't know what I'm going to get next. So what I'm going to do now is I put my eggs there and I'm just going to pour the minced meat on top of the eggs. So it's like, you know, it doesn't matter how I eat it because I don't chase like pleasure in food. I don't chase the tastes or that kind of stuff. I just eat for nutrition purely. And that's why I also try to eat raw meat or raw beef as much as possible. But yeah, ideally now I would have like separated the egg yolks and egg whites and cooked the egg whites and ate the egg yolks raw. Or yeah, it's kind of cool. You can make a sauce out of the egg yolks actually. Like it's very hydrating if you use it as a kind of a sauce on top of your meat, on top of, especially when your meat is cooked. It's very complimenting to use the egg yolks as a sauce. But yeah, now it's this kind of a meal today. So yeah, let's eat. This is how boring my eating habits are. So yes, sir. So I do try to eat kind of outside. I'm on my balcony right now. In the summer, I kind of experimented with eating here in my balcony, had my window open. Now it's kind of cold outside, so I try at least come here and have my food here usually, especially in the day when it's sunny. So yeah. Also, sometimes I just use my hands to eat my food. It's very cool. Yeah, just try to take my time, not trying to consume any social media stuff or the news, or, well, I don't consume the news anyways, but yeah, trying not to do anything else when I'm eating, actually. So trying to purely focus on eating when I eat, trying to appreciate this moment when I do have my food. I'm not perfect though. Sometimes I do consume some videos while I eat, some educational videos or stuff like that. But this is a good, excuse me. But you know, that's the thing. Like, people are trying to do so many things at the same time because their time is kind of limited. So when I was working on my 9 to 5, whenever we had a lunch break, for example, then people were eating their lunch, but also they were like, at the same time, they were on their phones. So like multitasking all the time, trying to do as much in little time as possible. So that's like a kind of a hectic way to live. Yeah, I don't know. That's the downside of like normal jobs. You have limited time, you know, you have to squeeze in as many activities as possible when you have your like a break or so. So yeah, that's in our nature. We're basically trying to do as much stuff as possible because, well, that's the reality, basically, that we have limited time, especially when we're working and stuff like that. But yeah, my situation is different right now. I kind of have this free time right now, and I do have work. I work as an independent contractor for my friend. We do stuff. Maybe I'll talk about it in my next vlog or so. But yeah, laid back schedule for me right now. So I kind of have the advantage of enjoying every moment I have in the day. So that's a plus, definitely. And I do want to kind of simulate a lifestyle like this. This is a hard thing also, that I kind of don't want to go back into that 9 to 5 state of mind. And also, like, literally, I don't want to go back into that 40 hour work week kind of ecosystem and yeah, that kind of life. Yeah, that's why I'm working on my channel, my other channel. I'm going to plug it in the description too, so you can check it out. Yeah, trying to appreciate the time I have right now and take my time to figure out what I'm going to do next and stuff like that. So yeah. Some cool kids are just walking past, having some chips and stuff. Oh, yeah. I did that bullshit too. I had a lot of like processed foods when I was young. Had a lot of like sweets, ice cream, cookies and stuff like that. But now, a couple years ago, I switched up my diet. So I'm kind of into, like, I've always trained in my life, like started martial arts and the gym when I was 14, 15. But I ate like shit. So I was pretty unhealthy back then. I was always kind of like sick. I was sick frequently. And now it's been different. Kind of have to watch what I'm eating right now because I'm a lot older, and yeah, you cannot eat like shit your whole life. So yeah, bon appetit. Okie dokie. So successfully noted down, edited some ideas, didn't film a video, just light work today. Planned out my content ecosystem and stuff like that. Nothing too complicated, just simple stuff. And now I'm just ready to head outside, possibly do a workout outside also, as it's not that cold yet that the bars are frozen. So yeah, we'll see what's going to happen outside. We're going to go on a long walk first. Like, I like to walk in the nature, and then I like to do a workout after I had my 5 kilometer walk. So like 3 3 miles of walking and then a short and sweet workout after. So let's go. Might as well document my thoughts at the same time here as I'm walking. So I was just thinking about YouTube and content creation and stuff like that, and thinking specifically about staying active. So why it is sometimes difficult to stay consistent. And I was for a moment doubting myself that whether I'm changing my vehicles, in a sense that like changing my vehicles too often and kind of not being consistent with one thing, sticking to one thing and really like trying hard to get good at it. My point with this thought is that most people struggle to stay consistent because they constantly change their vehicles. So they try this and that, and they don't kind of like dive deep into that one thing, that one craft, that one expertise. So this is just a random thought I had, like an insight. And also I was doubting myself in a sense that whether I'm changing my vehicle, but I'm still staying in this content creation mode, vlogging and creating content and creating videos. So in that sense, creating these vlogs is just a plus. It's just a complement to my main channel. So I'll definitely keep creating these vlogs and also keep creating more of like educational content for my main channel. So yeah, if you're interested in kind of educational content and stuff like that, you can check it out in the link below. And also stay for these vlogs for more of a side quest and vlog stuff. This is how we roll. It's funny how I've always been the type of person who worries when I'm not being productive or doing something or even working. But now in this phase of my life, I'm very grateful that I have the time kind of to have time for my thoughts. And I'm just learning to kind of stay still and trust the process and kind of reduce my stress here also at the same time to bring the creativity out of myself. So obviously when you're in a stressed state, you can't be creative. You can't think big enough. So yeah, I'm kind of learning to stay calm in this calm situation, you know, because most people would react with kind of anxiety, stuff like that. You know, you get anxious when nothing's happening in your life. You get kind of maybe distracted by your own negative thoughts. You start creating these nightmare scenarios in your own head. I'm just trying to sit with all the nightmare scenarios also and kind of embrace them and not stress about them, but also take them into account, because it is true, when you don't do nothing with your life becomes a fucking mess. When you don't take action, it's obvious nothing will happen. But you also have to kind of not stress yourself about it. So that's my point. You have to put yourself in a calm, creative state so you can come up with ideas, so you can be creative and take action that matters, you know. The point is, you can always be taking action, but taking the right kind of action is a whole different thing. I could be working a 9 to 5, for example, now hardcore, 45 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours per week, whatever. But if I don't have time to create a plan, it's obviously like it's all going to waste, you know. I've tried to save money. I've tried to kind of invest myself out of my 9 to 5, but I didn't have any plan. So I ended up wasting it all, kind of long story short. And that's why every time you have these empty moments in your life, you should be grateful and embrace the emptiness that's happening around you. Embrace all the chaotic thoughts you have. Sit with those thoughts, fix your lifestyle, fix your habits. Obviously, those play a significant role. So yeah. Well, that's the workout done, and I like the feeling after a workout. You, especially after a hard workout, you always feel kind of loose. You feel more like you don't give a fuck. So it's a good feeling. You feel like exhausted at the same time, but at the same time very relaxed, and you're much more calm in a sense. You kind of ground yourself more. However, you kind of momentarily raise your cortisol and stress levels actually, but of course it depends on what kind of workouts you do also. But yeah, overall in general, very good. Of course, this is a bit of a tricky situation with the vlogging stuff, because I find it kind of weird still to film myself in the public, especially when there's people around. But I sort of have to get used to this if I want to do this, especially if I travel the world, because I plan to do so, and also vlog my travels and stuff like that. So yeah, it's an interesting experience, and getting used to holding this camera and looking like a dumbass. But in the end, you know, we can make this an extreme scenario that everyone is going to die anyway and no one is going to care. So might as well film this shit and document your life and distribute it to the world and share our experiences. So cheers to that. Let's eat now. What I'm actually going to do is I'll take my ground beef out so it can sit in room temperature for about an hour, and then meanwhile I'm going to do my evening stretch. So let's stretch. So what I'm trying to do with these stretching sessions is I'm trying to go through my whole body throughout the day. So I'll start with light stretching in the morning or afternoon, go through the whole body, neck, arms and legs mostly. Then in the evening, I go through my kind of core, stretch a bit more of my legs, like do splits and stuff like that, which I will going to do next. And yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stay mobile, and stretching also like releases tension from your body. So you get rid of the excess kind of trauma and stress that is stored in your body. So stretching is very helpful for that kind of stuff. Also, another thing that I thought of that I should do is take massages. Massages, like not those light massages, kind of not those Thai girl massages, but real sports massages, you know, like the kind of massages where you actually feel the pain exiting your body, so it kind of feels, or might even feel kind of painful. So yeah, those would be very cool. I should book a time for that at some point, but yeah, we'll see. Stretching so far has helped me tremendously with releasing the tension in my body, and of course sleeping on the floor I think is a big contributor too. So if you feel that you're physically tense and even mentally tense, I recommend you try for like 2 weeks, sleep on the floor and stretch daily. It seems very hard at the beginning. It's very like, you know, you might need to look up a couple stretching positions. For sleeping, you don't need much. Sleeping on the ground is very simple. You just throw the mat on the floor, put on something very thin. You know, it's going to, in the long run, it's going to improve your sleep. I think so. I'm still in a testing phase myself. It's been like 2 weeks plus or so sleeping on the ground for me. Or sleeping on the floor, rather. Stretching I've done for quite a while, and it takes time before you can actually stretch with ease, you know? So if you haven't stretched before, it will take some time until the tension is fully released from your body. So be patient with that. And yeah, of course, when you stretch, remember to breathe slowly and deeply. So you can take 3 deep breaths every stretching position. And yeah, take it slow. Don't overstretch. Alrighty, so I quickly made these into patties, and these ones I will use for adding the egg yolk here. So it will be a steak tartare. Just plain ground beef and egg yolk. So yeah, this is the way. Lightly salted, these ones, nothing special. So blah blah blah, and this will be the end result here. Boom, basically it. Yeah, fuck this yolk up a bit. This went well. These are egg whites actually. They look kind of sus, but because they gathered all the scorch from the pan, but it's okay. They're still egg whites, and protein bioavailability on point, and lightly cooked patties. So that's going to be my evening meal. And yeah, bon appetit. Maybe I'll add a little bit of butter here too. So let's go. I guess it's time for the final chat of the day, because I'm kind of wrapping up my day here with this meal. After this, I'm just going to relax, go on a last short walk, maybe get some fresh air before sleep. Nothing special. Nothing special. This is basically my boring self-improvement routine as of now. I guess at some point you realize, after you've lived a chaotic life, especially in your mind, like fast-paced lifestyle, it's all good, but having all these stressful thoughts, that's the worst thing. A slow-paced lifestyle right now fits perfectly for me, at least. And maybe you're even living a slow life, but your mind and thoughts are rushing like 1,000 miles per hour. You cannot stop thinking and being anxious and stuff like that. My recommendation is what we talked about earlier. Start from the habits first. That's the first thing you can control. Fix your diet, fix your fucking dopamine activities. Do activities that release the good dopamine, the slow dopamine. It's very simple. You know all the self-improvement stuff. Self-improvement in itself might sound like a funny thing to some people, but It's like very elementary stuff, actually. Like, you have to keep improving yourself throughout your life nonetheless. Like, there's no choice. Self-improvement is everything you do, whether it's studying, elevating yourself in your career, starting a business, going to the gym, whatever, fixing your micro habits. It's all self-improvement. So like, you can find thousands of self-improvement videos online and look up all the habits and techniques and stuff like that, how to start with your self-improvement journey. I'm sure I'll make a video in the future about that also, possibly on my other channel, because I want to kind of focus on the basic fundamentals of self-improvement, fixing your fundamental life. I will talk about that on this vlog also, here and there. And yeah, this vlog will be like a demonstration, like a boring demonstration of my self-improvement life, so to speak. Of course, I'm gonna try and show some other stuff too. I'll be doing these side quests on this channel whenever they will appear in my life. Whenever I'll run into an obstacle in my life and treat it as a quest, treat it as a side quest in my life, and try to basically solve my own problems and share them with the world. Lots of stuff coming up on this channel and my other channels, so subscribe and stuff like that. Whenever you're ready, let me know down below about your self-improvement journey. Is there something similar you're doing what I'm doing, or are you doing something different? Give me some tips. Share your own story down below, and yeah, let's have an awesome chat. As I always say, this is an incredible opportunity to network with like-minded people, so let's embrace that. Cheers. Self-improvement is not the end-all be-all solution to all problems. You have to take action, real action in life. Going to the gym, having these good habits, meditation, and this kind of stuff won't help you achieve real results. These are good foundations for building your character and your personality, or should I say, like, developing just that stability as a person, developing your spirit, your physical body, your mind. But what will actually develop your character and personality is going out there, socializing, actually talking to people, dealing with real life situations. Like, I'm talking about this phenomena called gym cell. Like, everybody has heard of it, I assume so. Sometimes these terms are new to me, but yeah, gym cell is basically a guy who kind of copes with going to the gym. You know, let's say you find something that you become good at. Let's say it's the gym. So then you ignore all the real progress that would build your life, would build your family, your relationships and stuff like that, and you substitute it with the gym, you know, and you trick yourself into thinking that you're making some kind of progress in your life. You actually might be building your physical body and improving your health and stuff like that, your cardiovascular health and muscles, building your muscles and stuff like that. But the ultimate goal is to using self-improvement to keep yourself stable, channeling all your energy that you cultivate from self-improvement, channeling that energy into kind of those real things that will make your life purposeful and fulfilling, like building your own business, creating a family, having good relationships with your brothers, friends, sisters, mom and dad, so on and so forth, with your significant other, having kids at some point. Of course, having kids in this modern world is debatable, but I'm still kind of for having kids, and then eventually improving in your career and kind of deepening that purpose, deepening your own personal purpose in life. So it doesn't make sense to switch things up over and over again, it doesn't make sense to start from the zero over and over again. You know, you can start from zero when you've kind of settled in life, when you actually build something, like you build the health, wealth, relationships, family, happiness, all that. Then you can kind of start looking for new things you want to do. But generally, I think the point is to stick with one thing long term and commit to it. That's the key to real fulfillment and success. You know, kind of that you've committed your whole heart and spirit into something. Obviously, in the beginning stages, you have to experiment with different things, different skills, crafts, different relationships, even whatever it might be you're interested in. So eventually you want to stick with that one thing and stay with it long term. When you found that true thing that is truly like yours, you know, you don't want to quit too fast. This is what I was talking about earlier today. So like in terms of creating content, for example, now I took a little break from my main channel. I haven't posted in 10 days or so, like a couple of weeks or so. And now I'm making this vlog, but it's still like the same vehicle. It's still creating content, and it's still like being creative, video editing and stuff like that. It's still doing the same thing that I want to do, but I'm at the same time figuring out what I want to do with my main channel, while I'm still like kind of moving the needle with this channel, this vlog and stuff like that, you know. I hope you get my point. And yeah, you just have to keep yourself active in the sense that when you feel bored, or when you feel kind of that roadblock in something, that main thing you do, when you feel like you've reached a point where you ran out of ideas, or you reached your limit, you feel that you reached your limit and ideas aren't coming and you feel uninspired, you still want to keep doing something that's similar to that thing, similar to your main craft, you know? Like, I hope this makes sense. So, for example, in the past, I played the guitar, and I played instruments, I played the drums, I played the guitar, I produced music. This will be a quick example. When I played the guitar and I feel like I got bored of it, I might have went and took on some like keyboards. I learned to play keyboards, you know. It's still creating music, it's still playing instruments, but switching it up to break the pattern, you know, break the pattern and then come back and start like from a fresh perspective in a sense. So, and of course, music production is another thing where you can implement all the instruments and kind of program stuff and stuff like that. It's very dynamic, it's very multi-dimensional in a sense. Like, creating music is very rich hobby. Hope this made even more sense. So yeah, I think I will wrap this day here, and I'm going to head for another short walk, and that's it. That's basically my boring day today, and we'll see what happened, and we'll see what I'll come up with in the future and what kind of stuff I will be posting. And yeah, cheers, peace, take care. I'll see you in the future vlogs. Ciao.